Hey, nerds! So before we begin, I just wanted to say that it's thanks to you guys that this video even exists. So a few days ago, over on the community tab on this channel, which you should totally check out, I asked you guys a question about the next refines, what characters you wanted, which ones you thought needed the most, and well, I've compiled this list based on that because much like the NSA, I'm always listening. So we're going to be starting from the top and then we're going to be going down to see what surprises there are in store. So let's start with number one. I don't think I really have to excite you too much on this one.
Time to tip the scales.
This is pretty obvious. Not exactly the biggest surprise, I know, but there are a lot of Robin fans out there who really want to see not only him, but also his female variation get a new tome that is specific to them, and I don't blame them. When you're on a tier list and you are below Odin, there are a few problems going on inside. Just a few. Now, the thing is, with Robin, both male and female, you can kind of see why this is happening. Their stats in general are what we like to call the weird balanced issue that happens a lot with the earlier units. I guess it's not so much min-maxed, it's just more all over the place. And because of this, Robin male and female, they have decent bulk, and they have some nice enough speed and attack, but the thing is, we really need something to push both of these Robins a little bit more forward. To give you an example, male Robin, up until this point, for a long time was used as a Raven Tome user, and Raven Tome users in Triangle Adept have kind of started to go away. It's just because of how powerful the new units are, and how they can simply just obliterate some units without much of a problem. Now Raven Tomes have kind of fallen on the wayside, and because of it, Robin's niche is kind of still getting a little bit hurt. He does have the bulk, but he just doesn't have a lot else going for him. Now, I'm sure in the comments right now, someone's going, why don't you just give Robin 11 sword? And well, that would be cool. Chances are that will probably be an ult a bit later. We need to instead focus on the fact that he has a tome, and probably make something up, because from what I could tell, usually Robin is seen with 11 sword, he's seen with a certain tome. In this case, I think it's mostly Thoron, if I recall correctly. And we already have that in the game, so I'm not so sure what we could do. It's probably going to be, if we are ever going to get something for normal base Robin and female Robin, probably something made specifically for them in their varying colors, both blue and green. But I really have no idea. I would love to see what you guys think. Maybe we can finally have like a ranged tome that actually has close counter built into it. I don't think we've ever had that before. Robin would be a perfect fit. Just look at his defenses, seriously. Let him have it. That's just off the top of my head.
Now for a showstopper.
Alright, and number two is Asura, in case you couldn't tell. Yep, that's right. A lot of you really want Asura to have her own weapon as well, and I can get that. I understand. When she was introduced into this game at the launch, well, she had a sapphire weapon, which was not exactly, you know, amazing, considering the fact that she's such a prominent character within her game. I guess it would make sense. Not only that, but in her art, she's also presented as wielding the Blessed Lance, which she's oftentimes seen with in her game, at least when it comes to art. Now, the thing is, Asura I don't feel necessarily needs it, needs a huge fix. She already does what she does fairly well. She's a dancer. She's meant to be a dancer. But giving her Blessed Lance kind of makes sense because, well, you've already given it to her in every other kind of situation. Just look at all the art that is out there, and since you already have it as art in this game, I guess it makes sense. But what can Blessed Lance give to a character like her? Well, in her game, it lowered her defense and resistance, and in turn, gave her Monster Killer, because we all know how many monsters are in this game. The other thing that it did was renewal, in a sense. It gave back HP. So, there you go. I actually think a dancer with renewal wouldn't be that bad of an idea, honestly. It's actually something that would be kind of fun. So, if she does end up getting Blessed Lance, that would probably be the first option. I don't know what else additionally it would be, but chances are, nerds, for those who are waiting for an Asura refinement, you'll probably get Blessed Lance sometime in the future, so just hold out there, guys. Just hold out.
I will protect everyone!
Now, this next character is a bit odd to me. I was not expecting you all to be all over Seliph, and yet here we are. A lot of you really want Seliph to get a bit of an upgrade. And I'm not talking about an evolution and just inheriting his father's sword, but also something that can change what he has right now. So, right now in the game, Seliph has Tearfing, which is a legendary weapon from his game, of course. And all it really does in the game at the moment is give a slightly, well, not really slightly, a moderately worse version of a Brazen. It gives him +4 defense during combat if he has HP under 50%. That is sorely outdated. That reminds me a lot of Defiant skills, but no, this is a Brazen. It gives it during battle, and that's basically all I can really think of is +4 defense. Hooray! They could really stand to upgrade that one, as it has obviously not aged very well when it comes to this game, and since a lot of you really want him to have his advantages, I think we need an actual weapon that can match more of the genealogy style with that. And I think a good start would just be to upgrade that weapon into an actual Brazen effect instead of sticking it with its subpar version. But I don't really know what they can do to actually match it. That, my friends, is up to you. What do you guys think when it comes to Elif? What should he get as an additional effect?
Whoa, hey now. Messing with me?
And then next up, we also have Saber. Wow, a lot of you really are going at it. Just so we're clear, Saber got really close to another pity breaker that a lot of people were talking about. That was Luke. In fact, one of the top comments is Saber and Luke, which is kind of funny when you think about it. But yeah, I can definitely see that. Saber is a character that I think really excels very well if you merge him and have some more exciting things going on. But in the game, compared to what he was in Valentia, he's kind of lackluster right now, and he could really stand to get something a little bit better, maybe make him less of a pity breaker that a lot of people see him as right now. But the problem is, I really am not too sure what we can do to change him. Now, some of you in the comments may also be asking, Sages, why are you using Zelgius for this showcase? Well, that's because I don't have a Saber. The only sword that Saber had went to Zelgius, so there you go a bit. And that just kind of presents the problem in a way. Saber is a fun unit, but he's actually a lot better merged, and unfortunately he's kind of locked behind the 5-star pool. So he does, I feel, need a weapon that might just spruce him up a little bit, but the problem is I'm not really sure where we could actually get that. He does not really wield a weapon that is perfectly his own, you know, something that's solely his, and the only weapon that I can really think story-related that was given to him was Celica's Golden Dagger, and that's about it. So I'm not sure where we can go with this, but I would like to see Saber brought up more to what he is like in Valentia, because Valentia is such a fun game, and he was such a fun unit in Celica's route. Come on, IS. Up him just a little bit. Give him something fun. Let's do it.
I am a Knight of Frelia.
Oh boy, it's Tana time, isn't? Now, our last option, Tana, came really close. She's nearly tied with characters like Luke and even Sophia. There are a lot of options out there that you guys were throwing around. But Tana does technically have a weapon that has been outdated as time has gone on, similar to how Tyrfing with Elif works. Well, I guess the simple explanation is Vidofnir kinda has Safeguard vibes going on, only it's a little bit more picky on how it activates. You see, Vidofnir requires a foe that's using a sword, axe, or lance to give her +7 defense. Nowadays in the game, we have weapons that are giving that without having to really bat an eye at, and therefore I feel Vidofnir, and apparently a lot of you can actually agree to this, needs a little bit of an upgrade, maybe getting rid of some of that additional requirements and maybe giving it an additional effect just to bring it up a bit more, because being restricted only to certain weapon typings is kind of the problem with Vidofnir. And well, that's probably about the end of our list here, nerds. I wanted to say thank you for watching and just discussing this with me. So what weapons do you want to see get refinements? What characters do you deem necessary to do so? Do you agree with this list or do you disagree? It's all kind of fun. Do leave it in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you very soon.